Hello everyone and welcome to this beginner-friendly AI animation course. If you've ever wanted to create stunning music videos or short films or animated ads or any of those crazy wild ideas that you get in the middle of the night but you don't know where to start, then this course is for you. I'm Afrofuture, an AI artist, music producer, web designer, filmmaker. I've done too much. My work has been recognized internationally. Recently, I won an award for one of my AI music videos, and I just got nominated for another award by the Austin AI Film Awards in Texas. They nominated my music video, which is called Give It To Me. Some of you guys may have already seen it before. And my short story Warm Coat was shortlisted by a company called Liftoff here in England, and it was played at Pinewood Studios for 2 weeks. So yes, I know a thing or two about AI. I have been doing AI since 2022. I've been teaching people AI since 2022, and I only recently started getting into video because I just didn't feel like it was there yet. But now I feel like it's here. And now I want to show you exactly what I do. Now, I get not everyone has the budget for expensive software or studios or animation teams, and that's why I created this course. So we'll be using AI tools that are accessible, they are cost effective, and they are beginner friendly. So you can start making professional quality animations without breaking the bank. Now, this is a foundational course and it is perfect for beginners, but if you're looking to go deeper and deeper into AI animation and literally copy my workflow step by step, whether you're doing it for music videos, for films or short stories or even product advertisements, I've got the ultimate AI animation course for that, and that's what it's called, the ultimate AI animation course. I couldn't think of anything better, like that, whatever. Anyway, I break down my full production process in detail, where you'll see all of the tools that I use. And yes, those tools are paid for tools as well. So if you're looking to take this professionally, and believe you and me, there are people looking for people that are doing AI. Do not let them tell you any different. I've been working as a web designer for the past 15 years. I'm an award-nominated web designer, and literally I packed all of that up a couple of months ago to do this full time, because this is actually paying me quite a bit of money and it could be paying you too. So if you really are serious about moving jobs or you want to get into something new, then I would highly recommend taking this course. For now, let's dive into the absolute basics and get you creating your first AI powered animation. So our tool of choice to create our things in our mind is Freepik. And Freepik is a great all-in-one suite that offers practically everything you need to get you started. I personally don't use Freepik, but I do use most of the tools which are in here, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Now with Freepik, you can generate images, you can vary those images, you can upscale the images, which means increase the resolution, you can retouch the images, you can edit the images, and last but not least, you can generate videos from the images. But that's not all. You can also create voices and create sound effects, and you can use some of their AI generated music as soundtracks to your short stories or advertisements. The price of Freepik is incredibly affordable in my mind. You have two options to pay: monthly or annually. The monthly starts at £7 per month to £32 per month. And compared to most of the AI generators out there, This is incredibly cheap. If you have a look at all the features of what you would get, I would highly recommend to get the highest feature that you can, because number one, it's cost effective, and number two, you get so much more for your money. Now, let's have a look and start creating. The first thing we want to do is create our image. So I'm going to click here where it says image generation, and here is our work area. You can be inspired by the community by having a look at other things that people have done, and you can click on their work and see the prompt that they may have used. I'm not going to do that today, but that's just a way for you to get inspired and for you to learn how people actually prompt. I'm going to put something simple in here. I'm going to put eggs in a frying pan. Now, for those who were my students back in 2022, you would laugh at this because you know I have this weird obsession with eggs. I don't know what it is. No one knows what it is. And I always start the tutorial off with eggs in a frying pan. You can use this section here to improve your prompt if you want to. You can also turn that off. I'm going to put that on. In this mode section, you can click on that and you get to choose all these different modes in order for you to generate your image. And these modes are basically like different programs that you could use. Mystic is their program, and then you've got Google Imaging, which is from Google obviously, and you have Flux, which is an incredibly good generator. It's one of my favorites actually. I'm going to choose Flux Fast. I can also choose a style. When I click on that, it gives me all of these different styles here which I can use. I'm going to go for this illustration here, and I can choose a effect if I wanted to. I'm going to skip that, and I can also choose a character, but I'm going to skip that too. I can choose how many generations it's going to do. I'm going to choose 8, and here is the aspect ratio. Now, for most things you want it on widescreen, so if you want it on YouTube, or just normal TV, on Twitter, you would want it as widescreen. If you want it for something like Instagram or TikTok, then you probably want to go for a portrait. 2x3 might do, or 4x5. You really have to have a look at the stats for that, because it changes depending if you're on Instagram or if you're on Twitter. I'm going to keep it on widescreen, and then I'm going to click here to generate. Now, if you look at the bottom, I haven't clicked yet, I've just hovered, but it tells me that underneath Flux, I have 8,530 more images remaining to generate. So that's just to keep you on track with how many credits you've got left. And I actually don't like this. This gives me anxiety. It really, really does. So here we have some eggs. And I can click through all the generations by using the arrow key on my keyboard. And you could see it was done so quickly. And these are slyly making me hungry. This one's got a bit of bacon in it. Looks so good. I kind of like these generations here, but I can change the mode to something else. So let's try and change it to Mystic 2.5. And I'm going to change the style to another style. Let's try photo. So we've got Mystic Photo, and it's going to generate 2, but we want it to generate 4 at 16:9. I've only got 884. So you can see every time I change the mode, it tells me exactly how many more images that I can create. And it will change each time. Now, image generation can be very, very fast, and can be quite slow. So it will depend on the mode that you're using and the quality. Usually at very high quality, the image will take a little bit longer to generate. And with Mystic, it is a high detailed image at a 2K resolution. So expect this to take a little bit longer, but expect it to look amazing when it does generate. Okay, so all of our eggs are now frying nicely in the pan, and you can see the massive difference between this load of generations and this load of generations. This was definitely more a illustrative style, and this definitely looks more like a photograph or stock of photography. And damn, these eggs look really cool. Let's choose one of these that we can possibly edit. I'm going to go for this one. And I'm going to click here where it says edit image. When in this feature, this would also be another program. So usually I would create my images in Midjourney, and then I would edit my images using another tool. But luckily in Freepik, I don't have to do that. Everything I can do in here, and I can adjust the lighting, the coloring, I can rotate it, I can crop it, I can add some presets. I can also retouch. And retouch is cool because it means I can get rid of things and I can replace things. So for instance, I don't like that this bit of herb is there, and I don't like that this bit of herb is there. So I'm going to click on the erase tool, and I'm going to adjust the size of my brush, and I'm going to just highlight this bit here and a little bit over it as well. And I'm going to highlight this bit here and a little bit over it too. And then I'm going to touch or retouch this section and see what it does. So it gives us some options. So it's not just saying, hey, this is what you need. It gives us the options that we can choose. And as I click on them, the picture will change so I can see which one is the best one for me to use. I think I'm going to go with this one, and I'm going to apply. So now it's made a new copy of the image. We've erased the extra herbs that was on top, and I'm just going to be okay with this image, but you can definitely go in and do as much or as little as you want to. The next thing we can do is expand. So currently it's at 16:9, but say if we did want to move it to Instagram, for instance, I'm going to choose the 9:16. It resizes it for me, and then when I click on expand, it will now expand the image pretty much like how Photoshop does with its generative AI. So this looks really cool, but it doesn't just give us one option. At the bottom, it gives us 16. So I can click through these and then choose which one I like the best. Oh, I really like this one, and I can't even be bothered to go through the rest of the others because I really like this. So I'm going to select this, and then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to now bring it back to 16:9, and I'm going to generate it again. Now look at what we have here. So it started off as an image that was quite small. Well, it was small in comparison to this one, and now we've expanded it. But if you can see on the outskirts, there's like these little jagged edges of blackness around the image. I hope you can see that well. I'll try and actually you could see some of it down here, but probably that's, because I've zoomed in a bit, but you can see there's some banding issues going on. And this is a quick fix, but it's not a super good fix. It's not the best fix, but it's a fix that we can do in Freepik. So we can go into light, and where it's got shadows, you can just bring that up a little bit and you could see that it's gone. So originally you could see, if I bring down the shadows a bit, you could definitely see which part I was talking about, but we can just adjust the shadows a bit, and now it's gone. It looks a lot more clearer, and I can just click here to apply, and now we have the edited version. So we've got this version which had all these weird things going on here, and now we have this version which is much more nicer and clearer for us to use. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the upscale feature. Upscaling is something that you do with an image to make the resolution a lot more higher. And currently the resolution is at, or the width of the image is 1472. With upscale, we can make it 2 times the size, 4 times the size, 8 times, 16, depending on which mode you're on. Magnifique is a standalone website. So this is a company that Freepik has taken and put into their suite. And then you have Classic, which is Freepik's version of an upscaler. Magnifique is a monthly fee if you was to do this outside of Freepik. It is quite costly, and there are other alternatives as well which you can use, like Topaz and Pixelmator. But because you have a Freepik subscription, you don't have to worry about the monthly fee with Magnifique, because it is all included with your own fee. And to be honest, Magnifique by itself is about the same amount as Freepik by itself on a monthly basis. So it's about $39 a month. With Freepik, I can choose for the preset to be wild. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second. And I'm going to keep this on films and photography. And I'm going to leave all the settings as it is. So I'm going to upscale this one. And I'm going to do another upscale, but on a classic. This you can only do at 2K. You can't actually upscale it any more than that. And I'm going to keep it on standard. And I'm going to make this one subtle. And I'm going to upscale this. Now, the good thing I like about this is that I can always go back to the original. So if I click here, this was the original photo, and this is where we are now. So let's have a look at the standard first. This is the image not upscaled, and then this is the image upscaled. You can see there's a lot more detail and a lot more clarity in the eggs and the background. And this is the subtle. Even look at the fire and the wood. You can definitely see more of the grains in the wood. Now, if I click on Magnifique, let's see the difference with this one. Can zoom in, and you can see there is quite a bit of difference there. A lot of clarity. Now we have our eggs frying in the frying pan, and we have upscaled it. Let's try and make this animate. And we can do so by clicking here where it's got this icon, the first icon. Click where it says reuse image, and then in the drop down, you want to choose video. Now, what you can see here is that Freepik automatically puts in a prompt for us, which is super, super, super handy. Like I said, Freepik is the beginner friendly haven. So you can have a look at this automated prompt and adjust it as you see fit. So right now it says push in, and push in is a camera movement. So it's going to slowly zoom in on the frying pan as the eggs cook, capturing the bubbling action and the vibrant yolks. The focus remains on the pan, emphasizing the cooking process. The background elements subtly fade, allowing the viewer to concentrate on the dynamic scene in the pan. That is a great bloody prompt, I ain't gonna lie. I'd like that one. If you want to, you can add additional camera movements by clicking here, and then you've got all these additional ones that you could also use. So orbit left is a cool one, orbit right, pan right, zoom out, static. All of these ones are quite cool, but I'm going to stick with what we have. Actually, let's add an orbit left to it. So it's going to pan in, but then it's going to orbit to the left. Here we can choose how long the video is going to be, 5 or 10 seconds. And we are on a 16:9 ratio. Now, one of the things I didn't talk about was the mode. If I click here, do you remember I said to you that I use a lot of tools which are inside Freepik? Well, this is what I mean. I don't use Freepik for images. I use Midjourney, but for video, I use a whole bunch of these. Now, when I tell you that Freepik is so good value for money, just one of these costs about $99 a month. The fact that you're paying $35 a month, it is such a great bargain. Though I do want to emphasize that even though you can spend £35 a month with Freepik, when you're doing professional work, you really, really do want to home in on some of these other, in actually buying these on a monthly basis. Why? Well, with Freepik, you're limited to how many you can use. But if you bought Halo or Minimax, it's called Minimax now. Well, it's called Halo now, but they changed it from Minimax. If you bought Minimax, it's $99 a month, but it gives you unlimited generations. The same with Luma. Luma is, I think, $60 a month, and you can generate unlimited on their slow mode. Runway Gen 3 is also about $99 a month, and with that you get unlimited generations as well. So even though it may sound incredibly costly, that's like $300 there already, you can pass those fees on to your clients as invoicing. And if you only have one client a month and you charge them at a very good rate, you can have multiple clients a month, and you've only paid for this once. So I would definitely say have both in your toolkit. Have Freepik in your toolkit, but also have an image generation or a video generation tool which you can heavily rely on outside of Freepik too, because it definitely will come in handy. Now, one of my favorites is Kling, and every time you create a video, it defaults to Kling 1.6, which to me is probably the best model out of all of these. Another thing you want to notice is that some of these, if I just zoom in here, some of these have an image icon next to them. And what this means is that this generator is an image to video generator. This generator doesn't have an image, which means it's a text to video generator. Google VO2, which is a new model that just came out and is absolutely amazing. It's by Google, obviously. They are only text to video right now, which means I need a prompt and I need to put the prompt in without any image as a reference, and it will generate its own version of an egg frying in a frying pan. Now, as a professional, I would say it really is up to you what you want to use depending on the project that you're doing. But for me, I always use image to video because I feel that you get much more consistency and I'm able to control everything. For instance, the little banding that we saw at the corners of the image, I wouldn't be able to control that within Google VO2 if it was text to image, but I can definitely control it within an image. So that's just a little bit of feedback for you in regards to these models, why I use these models, and why it is beneficial for you in the end to actually have one or two of these models that you use outside of Freepik if you're going professional. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 of these in general, and some of these I don't pay for because I'm a creative partner, and I'll talk more about that later. But for now, let's continue generating this video. And as you can see, I've got 276 generations left using Kling 1.6. Gosh, I hate that it keeps reminding me that. I don't want to know. Now, Kling takes a while. It's probably the longest out of all of the generations. Again, if you click back here, it will give you an average time. So this is like average is about less than 5 minutes. And that's for Hung Young, I think they pronounce it. I don't know. I don't use this one. Kling is less than 7.5 minutes. But if you get the pro version of Kling, which I have, roughly it takes about 2 or 3 minutes. So don't be too, I think the 7.5 is really for those who are on the free plan. And it can take a lot longer than that as well. I've heard people waiting for over an hour for a Kling generation to come through, but it is what it is. So this may take a little while. I'm going to pause and then we'll come back when it's finished. Okay, so our eggs have now been cooking literally in the fire. And if we click here, you'll now get to see. I love the fact that not only is our eggs cooking and they're bubbling, but the little thing here, which I didn't even know was a candle, is also a light. I like that. This is great. Now this is made using Kling 1.6 standard. There's also a Kling 1.6 Pro as well. But while we were waiting, I cheekily went and did another video, this time using Luma, and I absolutely love them. They came out with a new model called Ray 2 maybe about 2 weeks ago, and originally it was a text to video generator, but now they've allowed image to video, and it is fantastic. So I'm going to give you a sneak preview. It's the same image, but look what it's done. Like, where did these hands come from? I love that. I love it. Now, the only thing I noticed it didn't really do is it didn't really orbit to the left. It panned in like we asked it to do, but it didn't orbit to the left. And sometimes things like that will happen, which is why video generation credits are important, because sometimes it will adhere to what you say and sometimes it just won't. God knows why it happens. It just does. That's why sometimes having the unlimited option is far better, because you can mess around as much as you want with it until you get the right generation that you need. Now, out of most of them, Luma and Kling, and there's another one which is not mentioned here called Pika, do very, very good jobs in terms of adhering to the prompt. Now, as you could see within Freepik, we also have additional options. We can add sound effects, so we can add the sound of the oil bubbling in the pan, and we can add lip sync feature. Now, unless the eggs are talking, we wouldn't need this feature, but of course there'll be videos which you would be creating, maybe with the talking head, that would be ideal for this particular video or this particular feature. Okay, so now we have our video. Let's talk about adding sound. Now, there are two ways that you can go around doing this. You can add sound via Freepik by attaching it to the video in Freepik, or you can just generate sound effects within Freepik, but then have them as two separate files. So you have the video file and you have the audio file. I'm going to show you how to do both of them. Typically though, I would always detach. So I would have one which is a video file and one which is the sound effect. But I'm going to do both just so then you can see that you can do them both here. And there may be times where, you know, you're just posting on Instagram and or Twitter or whatever, and you're not too worried about this particular generation, you just want to get some work up, then you may want to do it via this way. So we can click here where it says apply sound effect. And I can type in eggs frying in the frying pan and then click apply sound effect. Now what this will do is it will generate a sound effect and it will attach it to the video. Now the reason why I don't particularly like this way is because you don't have that much control, and for me everything is about control and making sure I have the sound that I want it to sound like. And sometimes it may generate an image that or an audio that I just don't really particularly like or I'm not very fond of. But again, this is just another quick way of doing it. So it's all done. I can now click here. And you can hear it. Great thing is we can download this as is, as a whole MP4, or we can download it as an MP3. An MP4 will have the video and the audio attached. The MP3 will just be the audio. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is if we click on the menu button on the left hand side and we click on Explore Freepik AI. If we scroll down and we click on AI Sound Effects Generator, we can generate a sound effect from here. And the reason why I prefer this way is because it actually gives us 4 generations which we can pick from. So I can put eggs frying in the frying pan and I can adjust how long it will be. I'm going to put 5 seconds because our video is about 5 seconds. And I can adjust the creativity as well. I'm going to put it at 40%. And then I'm going to click on generate. Now this is a better way because it gives us 4 options that we can use. And the best thing about this is that I can actually download all of them. So I can essentially build my own sound library. So if we click here, that's one sound. That's another sound. So I can download all of these and I'll be honest, they all sound pretty good. So I'm just going to download them all. And plus I've paid for them. I should be able to download them all. What the hell? Alright, so let's do that. And what that means is that you can go into your video editor of choice, upload your video, and then add any of the eggs frying in the frying pan sound effects, as like whichever one you want, and you can mix and match them if you want to. So I can have two going on at the same time, so it sounds a lot more dynamic. You know, there's lots of things that you can do. So here is where you can create your sound effects, and here is where you can create your voiceovers. So say if I wanted a woman saying, look at these amazing eggs in the frying pan, doesn't it make you hungry? I'm going to choose Emma. I don't know what Emma sounds like. Should I choose, or should I choose someone else? Let's try Cleo. In every story, there's magic waiting to unfold. She sounds like she's bored. Each step forward reveals a world of wonder. We'll try her. I can click here to generate the voice.
Look at these amazing eggs in the frying pan. Doesn't it make you hungry?
So that's cool. We can also do things like add pauses if we need to. So I'm going to add a pause maybe here. And I'm going to generate the voice.
Look at these amazing eggs in the frying pan. Doesn't it make you hungry?
I can put a question mark at the end of it. And an exclamation mark here. And listen to how it sounds.
Look at these amazing eggs in the frying pan. Doesn't it make you hungry?
So, doesn't it make you hungry? Sounds more like a question. Whereas this one,
doesn't it make you hungry?
It doesn't really sound like a question. So again, making sure that you add the appropriate punctuations at the end of your script will enable the person speaking to pronounce things correctly. So that's a little tip for you. And I'm going to download this generation as well. I'm just going to call it voice. Now we are just collecting assets right now, right? So we've collected our sound effect. We've collected our voice. Another thing we can do is we can collect some music. So let's have a look at the music here. What type of mood are we going to be in cooking these eggs? Well, we are not going to be in tension. I mean, we could be, but that would be weird. Maybe a happy one. And we want a moderate tempo. Or actually, what we can do, we can make it a little bit, let's see, laid back. Oh, no. This one sounds like it's gonna... Yeah, I like that. Cooking eggs with that, I don't know, but let's just see if it works or not. So here we have our assets. We have our sound assets, shall I say. We have our music, we have our voiceover, and we have our sound effect. Now, let's see what else we can do. Seeing that we have our assets, maybe we should go back and create some more images to go with what we have. Okay, now it's homework time. You have learnt the absolute basics. So you've learnt how to create an image. You've learnt how to edit the image. You've learnt how to upscale the image and to make it animate. You've also learned how to create sound effects. You've learned how to create a voiceover. And you've learned how to source songs that possibly match the images and the videos that you have. Now, I'm going to need you to create your own little project. So go back and create a bunch of videos and a bunch of images related to any topic that you desire. Mine is on eggs, and what I've decided to do is create a really short advertisement showing women from different cultures cooking and enjoying eggs. For you, you can do whatever you want, but keep it as simple as possible. Maybe use, 5 to 10 videos, if that. Work very small. You don't even have to have 5 to 10. Okay, in this part of the tutorial, I will be using Filmora to edit or piece together all of the assets that we've collected. You can, of course, use something like CapCut if you want, or you can use something like DaVinci Resolve, which is another favorite of mine. I'm going to use Filmora because I find Filmora to be way better than CapCut and way easier than DaVinci Resolve. And to be honest, quite a few of my videos have been made using this. It just seems to be such a quick workflow for me, and it has a lot of fantastic features. So I have already uploaded all of my assets into this project, and I'm going to touch over things very briefly about how I would do things, but you will probably have your own workflow, so it's totally up to you how you want to go around things. I usually start though with the audio. So here's the audio, the original audio. And what I want to do is I've already done this actually. So I've added a beat detection to the audio. So when I drag it out to my timeline, it gives me these little markers, and you just do that by right clicking and then choosing beat detection. And what that does is every bar, it gives you a marker, which means that when I add my videos, it makes it easier for me to know when to edit them. Though I would say don't always try to make videos where your scenes sit on the bar every single time. It gets really boring. So just experiment, have parts which may be a bit longer than the bar, a bit shorter than the bar, but mix it up a little bit and listen to the tracks. Then you can know when is a good time for it to go on the bar or on the beat. So I'm just going to pull out my first scene here, which is this one. And as you can see, you can hear the eggs going off in the background. And remember, we had that woman's voice. I'm going to add that to the timeline as well.
Look at these amazing eggs in the frying pan.
Now, as you can hear, everything sounds loud. I have the sound of the music, I have the sound of the eggs, I got the sound of the woman. Everything just seems like in your face. And one of the things that you will learn, especially when you're taking my course, is you're going to understand more about mixing tracks. Now, the best way I can describe it is that imagine you're in a room and you've got loads of different instruments. You've got a piano, you've got a singer, you've got someone playing the drums, you've got someone playing the guitar. Now, you can have all of these people standing in a row in the middle of the room, but then the sound is going to sound just like what you heard now. It's going to sound loud. It's going to there's going to be no order to it. So mixing is the process of getting sounds and placing them in different parts of the proverbial room, each giving each sound its own space so then it can breathe. So right now I can definitely tell that the main song is a bit too loud, so I'm going to bring that down. And I'm going to mute the eggs just for a second, just so I can hear the difference between the main vocals, which I would want up front. So if there was a room, I would want the main vocals to be up front and the music to kind of be in the center of the room. So I'm going to move that down a little bit and then let's hear.
Look at these amazing eggs in the frying pan. Doesn't it make you hungry?
Let me play that again.
Look at these amazing eggs in the frying pan. Doesn't it make you hungry?
Okay, so I can bring down her voice as well a little bit more.
Look at these amazing eggs in the...
That was too much. But you can understand what I'm doing here. I'm mixing the audio so then it doesn't, no one's fighting with each other. Once we do that, we can also unmute the eggs and bring those down as well. I'm actually going to pan the eggs to the right, which means that the sound is more going to sit on the right side of my ear rather than in the center of my head. So that will give it a little bit of weight. I'm going to move that over.
In the frying pan. Doesn't it make you hungry?
There we go. Can we just drop that down a bit?
Eggs in the frying pan. Doesn't it make... Look at these amazing eggs in the frying pan.
Again, I think the audio is a little bit too loud.
Doesn't it make you hungry? Amazing eggs in the frying pan. Doesn't it make you hungry?
Okay. So, yeah, so that's a very, very, very light mix. I would go in there and do a lot more. But when you're dealing with different sounds, especially like background sounds, which you'll be doing a lot of, you have to kind of learn to listen of how you can create a soundscape where all the sounds have individual places so I can hear them without it sounding so convoluted and so loud. So playing with the balance left and right, also playing with the fading in and out, and also playing with the volume is a good tip for you to have. Okay, so let's bring in some more of these videos. I kind of like that one. There's another one here that I like. There's not many of these videos that came out good, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm gonna pull out the ones which I think did come out quite well. And I'm even going to pull out one which didn't come out very well, so I can show you that sometimes you will have a video for like 5 seconds and only 2 seconds of that video you end up using, and that's perfectly fine as well. That's fine. So as you can see, I did not like the way that it just ended. Like the eggs just went, yeah, we're done now. So I'm going to detach the audio from the eggs, and I'm going to slow this down a little bit so then I can, let's see, I'm going to drag this in a bit, but I'm going to fade this out so it's not just an abrupt stop. So something like that. You'd probably want to play with that a little bit more, but I don't have the time to play with that. But you can see how that sound is leading into the next, and that's perfectly fine because it's almost like that's what she's hearing in the background, like the eggs are cooking in the background for her. Some scenes you don't want them to last too long, so you want them to cut. Cut this one. See, this one looks like a magic trick where she kind of did something and the egg just magically appeared in her hand. So we might want to cut it from about here. I'm going to move that over. And I'm going to end this one there. This one went a bit crazy, but she won the food lottery with this. I have to give her praises. It's got 2 yolks in one. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to move that there. Alright, so that would be the end of it. So I'm just going to cut the end of the audio there. And then I'm going to fade out this audio too. You can also just fade out the audio by using the fade out option here too. With this video, I can add a transition and I can add some filters and effects if I wanted to as well. What I will do is I will add some transitions and a title, and then I'm going to leave it as that. I want you guys to be the ones that kind of create things which are way more creative than this video of people making eggs.
Look at these amazing eggs in the frying pan. Doesn't it make you hungry?
The voice is atrocious. I don't even know why I chose that. All right, so what I might want to do is click on the transitions tab up here, and I'm going to use this fade, and I'm going to drag it to the end of here, which means that when it gets to the end, it fades out. I'm going to lower the quality of that for now. Okay, transitions are basically ways in which one scene will move to the next, and you can add these different transitions and effects to it to make it look way nicer. So if we go from the eggs,
Doesn't it make you hungry?
and then we go to her, we can add a transition here between her and the other person. So then it goes like that, and we can extend this. So if I just zoom in a little bit, I can extend how long that transition goes for, and I can do it so then it kind of falls on the beat a little bit. A little bit more. I think just a tad more, maybe. Okay. But don't go crazy on this. Don't go crazy on transitions. It's so easy to go through every single section and then want to add a transition to it. You don't have to, honestly. Some people go crazy with it. You don't have to at all. Just go with the flow. I might do one here. I'm just dragging these out. I don't really know what they all do, so I don't use them all. Okay, you can use a title as well. So a title would be like just some text that will go on the top of whatever you're writing. So I can just put something like "Eat your eggs." And we can have that out here. We could also add some animation to that as well. So I can have the text go in like that, and then I can have an out where it goes out like that. So let's have a look here. See?
Look at these amazing eggs in the...
I can also add like a fade transition in the beginning.
Look at these amazing eggs in the frying pan. Doesn't it make you hungry?
Okay, now we've come to the end of our workshop, and of course you want to make sure that you export your project and upload it to the social media of choice, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, any of those. I like to post to all of them, but I notice that I get a lot more traction on Twitter, though some people have a lot more traction on TikTok, so it's totally up to you how you want to do it, whatever is your favorite choice of social media. Now, what we've learned in this course is that it's not very hard to get you from idea to something that is fully working and fully functional. We've learned how to create images. We've learned how to edit images. We've learned how to upscale them. We've learned how to animate them. We've learned how to create sound effects for them as well. We've learned how to create AI generated voices as a narrative to accompany our works. And we've also learned a tiny bit about how to edit and bring it into your post-production tool of choice. So with that, you've learnt the basics. Congratulations. Please make sure that any work that you do post up on social media as well, that you leave a hashtag. So if you did use Freepik, hashtag Freepik. If you used Kling or any of the other animation video programs within Freepik, make sure you tag them, because what happens is if you do a lot of them, then you may end up getting sponsored by some of these companies, which is what I did. So I tagged every work I put out on Twitter and Facebook. I tagged them in there, and then they contacted me to be what is called put on their creative partnership program, which means I hardly pay for any of my AI subscriptions at the moment. And it's great because it means that I get to play around with tools, and then I can get to come and teach you how to use them. So, like I said, it was a very basic workshop, and I hope that you got out of it what you needed to. But I do have a much bigger workshop, which is the ultimate AI animation course. And I go from absolute beginning. So I talk about the concept, the development of your storyboard, the script writing, the character design. I will break down how to use Midjourney from beginning to end. We will talk about image editing and upscaling and animation and sound design and mixing and advanced prompting techniques. All of these different things are going to be included in this course. Now, this course is for anybody. So if you are already a filmmaker, if you're already a content creator, or a complete beginner, this course will be for you. It will be going step by step, just as slow as this workshop is going to be the same as what the course is, and the quality is probably going to be better than this one, to be fair. And the work at the end is going to be a lot better than just people looking at eggs. So there's going to be it will be a lot better, put it that way. Now, I've got some testimonials on here. These are testimonials from people who I have worked with privately, and also people who had joined my previous Midjourney masterclass that I did a year and a half ago. Now, I would love for you to have a look. That if you look at the bottom of this video, there'll be a button which you can click on, which will bring you to this course. Please read through all the information. I have an FAQ section here as well. But if there is nothing here that I have answered that you have questions on, please email me and I will answer them for you. Now, we do have an early bird discount. The price is currently $295, but in the next 2 weeks or in the next 14 days, the price will be going up to $495. And because you've actually stayed and you've watched the whole workshop, I'm going to give you a discount code which you can use. It will give you 20% off the price. So the discount code is going to be shown on the screen now. And that is it. Now, I just want to do one final thought. Just one final thought. So since recording this, I won another award, and I am incredibly pleased with this one because I had no idea that I would have been winning it at all. I came third place, and what made this really crazy to me is that I was up against people who had won Emmys. I was up against people who have worked with some of the top film industry people, and I was one of a few women, let alone black women. I was one of a few women who won this award as well. Again, I am not saying any of this as a brag, but this is definitely an area which I feel there is a lot of room for development and a lot of room for scope and a lot of room for our stories to be told. There is not many people of colour in this field currently, but we need your stories. We need to see what you're about. We need to see your creativity, and using AI is just another platform or another step or another tool that we can use to get these ideas out. So I'm not going to keep going on, but I just want to say thank you for watching the workshop, and I cannot wait to see what you've created.